Welcome back to the James Ramblin' Reviews for yet another episode. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about this new movie called Sisu, and a lot of you probably haven't heard about it. But before we get into Sisu as a whole, I'm just going to put it straight that I've talked about foreign stuff before. Like there was this Norwegian movie I talked about last year, and we talked about like Korean stuff. So Sisu, right? It got advertised near where when John Wick 4 came out, and we talked about that and reviewed that. And it is supposed to be this Finnish John Wick, like this John Wick in Finland sort of stuff. So the entire premise of the film is set in Finland, and it was made in Finland, and it came out last year for Finland, but came out in late April for America. And it's pretty much about this guy who has this gold, and he takes out these Nazis, and then he takes his gold to the bank. So pretty much the story isn't complex, it's just simple. Okay, this is gonna happen, then the next thing happens. That's kind of how the plot is, and it's about an hour and 30 minutes, and I watched it on a website. So my thoughts on Sisu is that it's a great movie. It's probably one of the best movies I've seen of 2023, right? There's been quite a few movies that I've watched this year, but I haven't seen a movie like this in a while. And because the reason for that is there's a lot of action movies that have a lot of dialogue, but this movie kind of subverts that, and you get like a less dialogue heavy kind of movie. There is some dialogue in here. Also, Sisu is supposed to represent like courage and all this stuff, but it's actually a word that's hard to translate. So not only that, and they do refer to that in the movie. And there's a lot of great action sequences in this film. Like this guy, the main character, like destroys this plane with an axe, and it goes so insane, and there's all these insane over the top action set pieces. Like there's a lot of gore in here. Like it just goes for the most escapist thing ever, and it is cliche. But because of the way it's done and it's handled, it doesn't feel like your stereotypical action movie with so much dialogue. That's what's great about it. And I wish I saw it in theaters because the way I watched it was on a website, and it was like they had these like bloody squares on on the screen, and it was really weird. It still felt like it was recorded in the cinema as well. It was kind of weird, but I enjoyed the movie. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. An 8 out of 10 definitely. Do I think it's as good as John Wick 4? Right. Well, it is. It's got those similarities, but because we're in like 1944 and there's all that stuff, it doesn't feel like John Wick entirely. It's just got similarities about it, bit of revenge going on, and the movie does make the Nazis look stupid. Which I mean, to be fair, because we're trying to make but because we're going to kill the Nazis, it makes sense. So and so that's kind of my thoughts on the movie. So Sisu, I do recommend it if you want something a little bit different to your usual stuff. And another great thing about the film is how it is a low budget movie, and it seems like a lot of that, like some action movies don't need to be like 400 million, like a lot of money. Like a lot of movies now, you've got like 300 million budget movies with tons of CGI, but this movie relies a lot on practical effects, and that's what's great about it. That it doesn't need a lot of CGI to really prove this was even supposed to be what it's supposed to be. And so, other than that, really, hope you enjoyed this review. Stay tuned for episode 69 of the James Ramblin' Show. I'll see you for when we will do another James Ramblin' Reviews episode. There's Fast X that's coming out and the Little Mermaid remake, but I don't know if I'll watch those. I don't know what I'm going to review next, but this was kind of a bit of a different kind of review for you. It was a bit different. We went from D&D to this. It was an interesting mix and stuff of that nature. So I'll see you. Hope you enjoyed this review. If you go see Sisu if you can, if it's available in your country, because it wasn't available in mine. It's gotten so much praise. It deserves the praise. Alright, so yeah. See ya. Bye bye bye. Sisu. 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 Action from Finland. It's an action movie from Finland. It's an action movie from Finland. Bye.